Hello, I'm Miss Langler. I'm the middle school principal at CAJ. I hope you are doing well during this distance learning time. This presentation is for you, students, so you can have a little idea of what you can expect in grade 6 next year. I will say that we are looking at what school in the building can look like for you, but we do not know that yet. So I'm going to share with you what I would have shared if we were having school in the building and there was no COVID-19. What is middle school? Well, really, it's a time for you to do some discovery. What are your gifts? What are your talents? We want to be able to give you as many opportunities to try new things. But before you think everything will be totally different, there are a number of things that stay the same. You will have loving teachers, fun with your friends, you're still going to be learning. You will have similar subjects like math and English or language arts and social studies. There will be some playtime during the day, and you will start and finish your day similar to what you do in grade 5. There are some differences between middle school and elementary school. You will have more teachers teaching you the different subjects. The schedule is different. You will have 4 classes a day, 75 minutes each. You will have 2 different days. There's A days and B days. We ask that you bring deodorant to school because you are growing up and your bodies are changing. You will have to be responsible to check your email at least 2 or 3 times a day, preferably at least once after you come home from school. Teachers sometimes have to make changes after you leave school. Check Google Classroom for assignments and due dates teachers have posted. Markboard is where you will see your rubrics for your assignments and projects. There is a middle school handbook, student handbook, that you will look through before August. And we have co-curricular activities such as sports and robotics and chapel band. I do want to remind you that this may change next year because of COVID-19. Very soon, I will be sending you a Google form to your CAJ email account. So please make sure before the end of this week you have checked your email for this Google form. This form will be asking you to choose what you wish to take for your music block and your language block. For music, you can take band or choir, and for the language block, you can, if you are an EAL, you have to be an EAL. If you are not an EAL, you can choose between Japanese or Spanish. The other choice we have is one study hall. You can have a study hall in either the music block or the language block, but you can't have it in both. You'll have lockers to store your backpack and books. One thing we do ask that we want our students to do is to take responsibility for their own learning, especially during middle school time. And part of that shows up in the attendance class that we have. If you have a are not prepared for your class, like you don't have your homework completed or you don't come to class on time with everything, you could receive what we call a tardy from your teacher. If you cannot finish an assignment because you don't understand, please communicate with your teacher before the due date. That's part of taking responsibility for your own learning. If you do not communicate, you probably will get a tardy because the teacher doesn't know that you're struggling with that assignment. If you have accumulated 6 tardies in one semester, you're going to receive an email that's a yellow card reminding you that you have 6 tardies. If you receive 10 tardies, you will receive a red card email. Once you get a red card email, you'll be assigned to 2 attendance classes, which are on Wednesday mornings from 8:15 to 9:15 a.m. You will also be charged 2,000 yen to your account. So please think about strategies to help yourself complete your homework and turn it in, or a way to keep yourself organized. The dress code also changes, and please check the middle school student handbook and look through that dress code. So what can you do to get ready for grade 6? How can you prepare? Well, during the summer, usually we have a summer reading program. But this year, because of the exchange of books and access to the library is very different, we are asking that you read, a minimum of 3 books. If you read more than that, keep track of all the books you have read over the summer. You should also look for a school supply list on the school's webpage and make sure you've collected your school supplies. One other thing that is just has come up is the summer online course clubs. I would recommend signing up for those too. How can you prepare just before school starts? You should have your summer reading program completed by the first day you have to come back, and you should have all your school supplies by that first day at school. To help you during the school year, you should really set routines for when you go to bed and when you wake up. You do need, research has shown that you need at least 8.5 to 9 hours of sleep per night. Another thing you should probably keep track and have a conversation with your parents about is how much screen time, that includes phones or iPads or laptops or other desktop computers, and monitor how much time you're actually in front of the screens. I know now with distance learning, it's definitely a different story than it used to be. But still, the screen time and the sleep are 2 important things. There are some things we have scheduled for grade 6. However, some of these may change depending on the situation. In grade 6, you'll have hike up to Mount Takao as one of our field trips for sure. There may be other field trips, but we don't have them planned yet. We have an egg drop event in science class, and that usually happens in the spring. One other thing that we ask students is for your Bible classes, and there will be 3 Bible classes next year in grade 6. We ask for 1 representative from each class to participate in our middle school student council. We have service project with Second Harvest, an Adopt a Family program. We also plan visits with the Gakugei School here in Higashikudame. There may be other activities planned, such as field trips and the like. Some important people for you to know for next year. Your homeroom teachers or your Bible teachers will be Miss Hall, Mrs. McLaughlin, and Mrs. Van Druff. They will also teach social studies, English, math, and science. And also next year, when you're in middle school, Miss Junko Sensei will not be the counselor for secondary or grade 6 and up. Miss Nagatomo is the counselor for grade 6 and up. I believe some of you may have met her already. Another person that you may be familiar with is Mrs. Pauling. She will be the student support coordinator. In middle school, we have a number of co-curricular activities so you can participate. And these are like sports and things like other activities after school. Do remember that these may change next year at the beginning of the year because of COVID-19. We have 3 seasons of co-curricular activities: fall, winter, and spring. And typically, we ask that you only participate in one sport or activity, such as chapel band or robotics, in each season. In the fall, which is August to November, girls, you can participate in volleyball, cross country, or soccer. Soccer is a co-ed soccer where boys and girls play together. Boys, you can be in that co-ed soccer, or you could join cross country. Another activity, if you are not into sports, is being part of the chapel band. If you play piano or play guitar or like to sing or play the drums, those are all good options that you can participate in with chapel band. And of course, you can be a class rep in student council, which will be a commitment for all year. If you are a class rep, you are allowed to participate in these other activities that I have just mentioned. There is also a drama festival that our students can participate in. That happens usually October, November. And if you want to be in the drama festival, again, if you are in chapel band or the sports, that's fine. You can also go to the drama festival. Our winter season is from November to February. Girls can choose between a girls' soccer team, or you could be in wrestling. Boys, you can play basketball or be in wrestling. You can again choose to be in a chapel band or in brain bowl. We also have a robotics team. Many times happens during our winter season as well. Spring is from February until May. Girls can choose track and field or basketball. Boys can choose to be on the track and field team. And again, we have the option for chapel band. And the other activity is math field day. If you participate in math field day, it's fine to also be either in chapel band or a sport. Next year, you're going to be assigned a Chromebook. It will be stored in a cart on the second floor. and you are required to take care of that Chromebook and keep it in the cart when you're not using it in class. Please don't keep it in your locker or leave it in the classroom or leave it lying around in the hallway. Chromebooks are not for your personal use, but they are provided for you for your education. We do monitor what you're doing online. And in the morning, please have all your devices, earphones, earbuds, put away in your backpack before you walk on campus. Keep them in your backpack, in your locker all day. Don't put them in your jacket pocket, but keep them in your backpack. Do not take them out until you are outside the building after school. I strongly recommend that you review the acceptable computer use policy that you could find in the middle school student handbook. In middle school, we do have A day with 4 blocks and B day with 4 different blocks. Each block is 75 minutes long. And right now, we also have what we call a skinny block, which is 45 minutes. This skinny block doesn't rotate with the A and B days. That is tied to the day of the week. Because of our Wednesday late start, we don't have a skinny block on Wednesday. This is your typical school day would look like on an A day. A1 block is our exploratory/PE block. These two alternate each A1 block. So the first A1 block, you could have PE, and then the next time you have an A1 block, you would have an exploratory class. There are 4 different exploratory classes: industrial arts, which is working with things, making wood. Working with wood to make things. There we go. Home economics, which is sewing and cooking. Art and digital tools, which is working with programs and improving your computer skills. The A4 block is what we call the language block. And I mentioned earlier about the Google form that I'm going to send out to you asking for your choices in the language and the music block. This is what a typical B day schedule could look like. If you'll notice in the B4 block, that is what we call your music block. And again, you will be making a choice whether you are going to join choir or band or have a study hall during your B4 block. There are many other things such as lockers and locks, PE shoes and t-shirts, and other things you'll learn when you come to school in August. But you'll be learning this all alongside of your classmates together. Finish this school year strong. Have a great summer, and we will see you in August. Bye-bye.